decisions has come and gone. Well, we didn't make any, and it's pretty much too late now. So sit back or sit up. Well, pretty much sit any way you want, because it's really none of my business. But anyway, because it's time for the show like no other shows, to the extent, you know, this is our show, meaning, you know, me and myself and my uncle, who happens to be the star of the Red Green Show, Red Green.
Thank you, Harold. And a special thank you to our viewers for bucking the trend. And speaking of which, Harold, come on over here a minute.
Oh,
Harold is producer, director, and my nephew on the show, and he's got this little machine here, and he's able to really keep things moving along for us.
It's a video effect machine. It goes like this. That way I can bail out of a boring segment into a more interesting one, you know, if the need should arise, which I'm sure it does.
Well, anyway, God, we had a heck of a time up at the lodge this week. We sat around, we started discussing what it means to be a real man. And funny, what it came down to was you got to be loud, strong, and smell like gas. And, of course, to us, that meant you had to have an outboard motor.
Or a video effect machine.
Well, we decided right then and there we were going to have the biggest outboard motor on the lake, which meant that we had to build it ourselves. Harold, do you happen to know what a 427 cubic inch engine is?
No. When we go to the next segment, we'll have a chance to look it up.
Well, I can tell you what it is, Harold.
Oh, too late. Darn it.
On a clear summer night, when the warm summer breeze comes down to the water and rustles the trees, the bunch of us meet there and strip to the buff. Cause boys will be boys, and enough is enough. We go skinny dipping, hop and flipping. When nature's calling, we go cannonballing. Heart rate rises, the spirit soars. The moon you see might even be yours. Skinny dipping, slapping my butt on the lake. I wouldn't drink the water.
Oh, now he tells me.
This week at the Handyman Corner, what I'm going to show you is how to operate this powerful electrical device. This right here is it's a belt sander. But I wouldn't advise you sanding your belt with it unless you are really into the celibacy thing. Anyway, let me show you how this works with this little piece of wood I got right here. That reminds me, I wanted to talk about safety goggles. But anyway, so there's something else you can do with the sander. It's good for sanding a big flat surface, like a door here. Now with the door, the first thing you have to decide is which way is the grain going. All right. The grain is going that way. So we sand against the grain. Now you hold her level, a little bit nose up, keep her steady, and bring her down onto the door. All right, that's right too. I forgot. You have to sand with the grain. So what I'll do is just swing the door around. All right. Now, get the sander going and drop her down onto the door. I'm obviously not going to be able to finish this job until I get a longer workbench. So, until next time, remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. You'll want to come right back after the break and hear more about the outboard motor, unless I miss my guess.
Which is quite possible, in my opinion.
winter. Children's laughter at the front door. They tumble into the house, boots off, hats off, sweaters, snowsuits, scarves, and mittens are peeled away. Hey, these aren't your kids. As I was saying about building our own outboard motor, we were lucky enough to get our hands on a 427 engine, which fell out of a friend's car when Buster Hatfield did an oil change on it. You know, the insurance paid for everything, so we ended up with the motor. We figured it'd be ideal to build an outboard around that. So next thing we needed was a drive shaft. We decided to use our shower rod because we weren't using it because we don't have a shower curtain, because we don't have showers, because we don't have hot water, because we don't have water. So when you get a motor that size, it's just be wasted on a normal size prop. So we had to think of something a little bigger, like a ceiling fan. So we hooked the whole rig up there and put it all together with the handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. And then we mounted her on the back of the aluminum boat. But you know, golly, the weight distribution was kind of off on that, so we ended up turning the whole front half of the boat into a gas tank.
Well, Uncle Red, next segment's all ready.
Well, I don't care, Harold.
Oh, okay.
What'd you do that for?
Well, you said you didn't care. Make up your mind. Jeez.
Red Green?
Yeah.
Is that really you, or is
Yeah.
it just another hallucination?
No.
No, it's not an hallucination. Hallucinations don't have professional TV cameramen following them around.
Oh, that's right.
Well, please excuse the mess. I've been changing things around a little.
Yeah, you have changed a bit.
You know what they say,
Yeah.
change is as good as a vacation, and
Yeah.
I haven't had a vacation in 13 years, and I figured, why not have a change?
Gosh, 13 years without a vacation.
Yeah.
Boy, what, that's something, huh? There's a word for that, isn't there? What is
Yeah,
it?
Dedication?
Sure, yeah.
Dedication and, loneliness.
Sorry, man. All right. No, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
You know what I miss the most?
What?
TV.
Oh,
My
yeah.
favorite TV show.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
Welcome Back, Cotter, Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll act out all my favorite scenes, play all the roles, you know?
Yeah.
8 is enough is the toughest.
Yeah. What do you do to stop yourself from going crazy up here, Gory?
Well, I try to keep myself busy, you know. I
Yeah, sure.
take all kinds of correspondence courses.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Right now I'm learning bricklaying by mail.
Oh,
Yeah? You know Winston Churchill enjoyed laying bricks?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm learning a second language, Beaver. Yeah, it's a great language. I'm picking up from the beavers down by the river.
Okay.
Yeah, and Beaver is easier to learn than German.
Oh.
Whereas German will have 3 genders, Beaver only has 1. So it's a lot like English in that way.
Yeah.
And a lot of the words are similar. The Beaver word for thunderstorm, for instance, is...
It's close.
Yeah, do you know there are over 40 different Beaver words for tree stump?
Gosh, thanks.
Oh, it's a rich language, Red, especially when it comes to trees and bark and rutting, or as we say. Huh?
Isn't that great, eh? Yeah.
Well, and the beavers don't have a word for transmission, for instance.
Well, they don't.
But they don't care.
No, they wouldn't.
No, like the beavers have a saying.
What does that translate as?
Let's chop down this tree and drag it to the river.
Okay, Gord, I think we got to get going here, but thanks a lot for your time. We want to get you back to your work. No, it's all right. We'll come back another time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Saturday then, huh?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah? Great.
See,
Okay.
I mean,
Is 4 o'clock okay with you?
well, I'm going to have to get back to you on that.
Okay. All right. Just slap your tail in the water.
Yeah, I'll look forward to that. Go down to the swamp in the summertime, cover your thighs with sludge and slime, slap them together in 3/4 time. Now you're doing the marshy bog jig, the marshy bog jig, the marshy bog jig. There's never been a dance ever this big. Never. You don't need lessons, just join right in, but it helps if you're pretty well hammered.
Oh, Uncle Red, this is great. Excellent. It's mailbag time. You know, but I found the letters a tad repetitive based on the demographics. You know, we're skewing 40 plus. So I've selected some letters from some teenagers to give this segment more of a now feel to it, you know? We don't have to.
Just read the letters, Harold, will you?
I'll just read the letters, I suppose. Here's letter number 1 from our viewers. Dear Red, I'm a 14-year-old girl who's never seen your show because it's like totally gross. What do you think of New Kids on the Block? Are they excellent or what? Seriously, what's so great about math? I think it's like totally gross. Who's the nerdy guy who says he's your nephew? The guy is like a major doofus. Signed, Amanda.
What's a doofus, Harold?
Oh, a doofus is like a stud, like a really cool, nifty guy. Ah, doofus.
All right, well, Amanda, I don't know if there was a question in your letter. I certainly didn't hear one, but if there was, the answer is no.
That's excellent. Communicating with the young people of today, that's excellent, Uncle Red. Letter number 2 from another teenage viewer. Dear Red, we enjoy the Red Green Show every week. We never miss an episode. Many teenagers think you're an old fogey, and they make fun of you. But we think the Red Green Show is entertaining and informative about things that concern young people. Signed, Doug Holes, Gymnasium, and IP Daily. That's excellent. That's excellent. You're listening to you, you're getting into the people of today. That's excellent.
Yeah, well, maybe someday I'll be a doofus, eh, Harold?
I can help.
Bill and I went out in the lake there and shot this little film. Really wanted to show you what it's like to try and portage a canoe. But of course, first we had to land the canoe before you can actually do the portaging. So, well, you know, luckily Bill had the rope. Maybe should have untangled that, and then, well, I don't know what he had in mind there. And I tried to paddle the dock out to Bill as he's bringing the canoe in. But God, it was a beautiful day. We finally just got him up there somehow. He tried to pull her up this way. Now, interestingly enough, water goes in the back of the canoe, and my God, she gets kind of heavy. I gotta hand it to Bill because you really don't know what's in that water. I know there's a lot of dead cattle in there and some vehicles, and I think a couple of old lodge members are down there. Anyway, we eventually got her up there. I thought we would just pull it right up on the dock from the side, a little different angle, and then we'd have it to work with to do the maybe a little wider dock might have been. Anyway, we decided Bill just would paddle the canoe up to the beach area and forget about the dock for the time being. You know, the bottom's got a lot of spongy, sticky kind of. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that can happen. Anyway, luckily we have 700 or 800 paddles. And that, yeah, Bill. I don't think we're going to see that one again. But he got her up on shore there. Oh. Kind of an interesting technique. Bill and I just kind of get kibitzing there, you know. So now to get ready for the portage, what you got to do is you see what he's saying there is you got to pick the canoe up. So I'm gonna help him pick the thing because we had quite a bit of stuff in there, you know. But yeah, he's all right. So next thing we do is we're going to pick it up from the side rather than from the end, and we got a lot of the crap out of there. And, oh, Bill. You know, they're just not making the canoes the way they used to. They're a lot stronger now. Your old birch bark there would just, I think, collapse under that kind of strain. But it's got the aluminum over the fiberglass. Just, well, you know, Bill will vouch for the strength of these things. Anyway, you know, it's got a lot of recuperative powers, and we get the canoe up onto his head there, and of course the problem now is he can't see which way the water is. You know, which is I'm trying to direct him. You know, back that way, Bill, kind of a deal. But it was a lot of fun. Dangerous, but fun.
It is winter. Down the hill you race, flat on your back, screaming, eyes closed, on a toboggan. Up the hill you go, flat on your back, screaming, eyes closed, on a stretcher.
Now, this part of the show, I'll give Harold a chance to talk about the things that are bothering young people, because they seem to trust him, or at least not feel threatened by him. Harold?
What? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, sex education. You might want to get the kids out of the room, or like, make clearing your throat noises or something like that. Ask them how school went. Get them distracted, right? Okay? Okay, here we go. Sex education. We're supposed to be all modern about it and stuff, because it's like the 90s, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, so in school, right, they teach us, like, don't be ashamed, don't be embarrassed by it or nothing, it's okay, it's natural. But yet, our parents won't even talk about it with us, and we know they do. We know, because, every time they have an anniversary, they send the kids to the movies for the night. We don't ever do that, right? So we know what you're doing, we know, we do. And they tear all the good articles out of the Reader's Digest before we get a chance to read them. Real good one, like, I was Joe's prostate. That's a good one, too. So my point is, I just want to say that I'm glad I'm not like adults and have hang-ups about, well,
Don't go away. I can't wait to finish my story about the outboard motor.
I'll make sure that he has to.
Staying alive, staying alive. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Well, this is certainly one of my favorite aspects of being a human being, and that is, not to be quite so selfish and not to just think of yourself and spending time with people like yourself, if there happen to be any, but actually to take some time and spend some of your valuable time with some of the young people, some of the great young people of this country. Maybe you have a nephew, hopefully not like Harold, but maybe there's a kid down the street, or maybe just you get involved with the big brothers or whatever, or maybe you just, had the bad luck to have your own kids. Whatever it is, whatever happened. I have my friend here, David, and David and I are going to do something together today. Just, buds. We call it buds, huh? Huh?
Yeah.
You know what we're going to do today, David? We're going to play a game of croquet. You know what croquet is?
No, not really.
Oh, well, no, this is a thrill for me, because not only am I spending some time, I'm teaching him a new type of sport that obviously David otherwise would never be exposed to. David, the game of croquet is you put these little metal hoops into the lawn, and then you have mallets and you knock balls through the hoops. It's an awful lot of fun, and you can hit the other person's ball, and you can just knock the living bejeebers out of it and smash it to bits if you want. It sounds like your kind of game. The problem we're going to have here, Dave, is I believe this grass may just be a tad long for a real good game of croquet. And if we're going to play croquet, we might as well play a good game of croquet, right?
Yeah.
So you know what we need?
What?
One of these. Watch your feet there. You want to push it along while I'm doing this, and we'll get the lawn cut? All right, wait. So, the beauty of it is you're spending time with a young person, and they're learning all about a whole new game. Oh, God, he's going to be all day doing that. I think I got to get a new outboard motor. This one kind of smells. Is that oil? Is that oil I smell on that?
Don't ask me, Red. I lost my sense of smell for oil when I worked on that offshore rig.
You worked on one of them oil rigs? Boy, those things are huge, aren't they?
8.5 trillion tons.
Really? Trillion?
And we weren't drilling for oil, we were drilling for gunpowder.
Well, that'd be a little dangerous, wouldn't it, drilling for gunpowder?
Well, the water helps, and it's under a lot of pressure. This was a deep part of the ocean. I'd say maybe, 20,000 leagues under the sea.
That's deep.
Yeah, well, never figure it out. A league is over 6 feet.
No, that's a fathom.
Red, a league is a metric fathom.
You sure about that, Hap? I never heard that before.
Anyway, one day I was running the drill, We had maybe 21,000 leagues of pipe going straight down, and I hit the mother lode, pure gunpowder. And she blew. Boom. Not completely, but big. That pipe blew straight up. 21,000 leagues of pipe. Shot straight up and out into space. Traveling even 15 times the speed of sound, it took 9 minutes for the end of that pipe to pass by me. Noisy? You wouldn't believe the racket. After that, gunpowder mining was declared unsafe.
Where'd the pipeline come down?
Mars.
Nothing personal happened. I'm having a real problem believing this story.
Doesn't bother me if you believe it or you don't. You weren't there.
No, but at least I'm willing to admit it.
So as I was saying, we got the outboard motor all mounted on there, and we got the boat all gassed up and everything, but you know, it was still too heavy at the back end, so we put Moose Thompson in there, but then all the weight was up at the front, as it is on Moose, too. So turned out that Buster Hadfield had to be our test pilot. So he got in there, and we kind of pointed the boat out towards the center of the lake, and it took us a while to get it going, though, because a 427 V8 is not all that easy to pull start. But we did get her going, and Buster hit the throttle, and it broke off right in his hand, you know, but not before it had jammed wide open. So it was, I guess, about 3 seconds. That motor was doing 80 miles an hour. Unfortunately, the boat was only doing 75. So she broke off through the transom and started to work her way up, you know, through the boat, up over the seats and in between Buster's legs and so on. And, God, it was really something. It turned out, you know, luckily that Buster only damaged his pride, or I should say his pride and joy. He tried to jump over the spinning blades, and golly, he only missed by a hair. But anyway, if my wife is watching, I'll be coming home, but I think I'm going to stay up and read a little bit tonight, so maybe you could leave the comic section on the fridge. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for tuning us in, and on behalf of myself and Harold and the rest of the gang up here at the lodge, until next time around, keep your stick on the ice. Sorry, Harold. Just,
Thank you.